Okay, so now we are going to be making this card. And again, this was using this wonderful bundle, Many Messages. So I did that with the die and I cut it out and I got a bunch of little already stamped, ready to go little sayings. And I'm going to show you what I had done. Like the first card we made, we used the saying there and we did the shutter card, right? So that was one card. I mean, you get a lot of cards with this set. So the other card, I was inspired by the leftover. So my leftover piece. And I thought, there's got to be use for this. So I overlaid it, I lined it up where I wanted it, and I stamped it. Or used my blending brushes, which we'll get into in a minute, and came up with this wonderful uh, this one almost looks camouflage because the colors that I chose for it. But just a fun little geometric thing. Before I show you how to do that, I cut my little guy and I went, I'm just going to cut a section. And I wonder what part of a section would look like on a card. So I don't know. Let's see if you can see this or not. But I put it onto the card. There we go. I put it onto the card and then I inlaid it. So it's just tone on tone. I just wanted some like architectural structure on the card. And then I used our textures embossing folder and ran it through and it inlaid it into that. Then I popped a ribbon on. I used a different sentiment. And then I have another card that's kind of classy. It almost looks like it's Greek-esque or whatever. So that was another card that I made with this one, just using the leftover pieces. So let's get into this card that we're going to make today. On my other video, I showed you about making the die and how it's lined up with the hearts and the stars, and it just makes it so easy to run through the die. So for this one, you're going to need a little bit of sticky tape, or not sticky tape, painter's tape or washi tape. But please, whatever you do, make sure you take the stick off of it because you don't want to tear your paper. I'm going to bring this down so we can get started and you can see what I'm doing. Okay, I have my card base. It's just a regular 5.5 by 8.5 card base. All right, and I'm going to actually be stamping or sponging directly onto this. Now, I could have done it on something else and then adhered it to the card, but I was just wanting to be simple. So I'm going to take my mask and I'm going to decide, obviously, I'm not going to get all the parts fitting where I want it. So I'm going to look like, do I want the whole thing up here? Do I want just part of it up there? Do I want this heart to show and that little guy? And I do. Do I want it hanging off the edge here, but not here, but making sure I have it completely here? So I'm going to just take this bottom one. I'm going to raise it up a little bit so I still have my heart here. And it's okay if I'm okay with that one being off. So let's see. I'm going to line it up like that. Now I'm going to hold it, flip it over, and then I'm going to adhere this. Now, if you were worried about your tape being like really bad, actually, I'm just going to kind of maybe do it on the top here. I don't want that much. Okay, because I might be flipping this up to peek at it. So I have this all ready to go for my sponging. Now, I have to tell you, I'm going to stop for a second. I am using our new blending brushes, which I'm looking for the envelope. I love, love, love these. You get 3 of them, and they come in this nice storage pouch. So they just get to stay in there. The pouch has a little breathing hole, which is nice, so they don't suffocate. These are our blending brushes, and they're $12 for 3. What I love is, I don't know if you can see this, but see, it's just like this fine blending tool. And it is so much nicer. I mean, I love our sponge daubers, don't get me wrong, but I love this more. I was so impressed with how smooth it blended. It truly, you don't have streaks, you don't have little marks. It's just like butter. I love this. So I am going to be using these. I've already used them once and I rinsed them out. And you might see a little dinge mark on it, but that's okay. It's still gonna, I mean, it's not gonna do anything bad. All right. So having said that, okay. So now I did that little sales thing. Love, love, love. They're very affordable. I know I am going to be buying lots more of these just because, when I'm stressing out, I can kind of do this too, it's a little massage. All right, here we go. We're going to start with this. I'm going to start with my picking up color. You do not, when you use these, you do not press down. You don't want to dig it. Just lightly rubbing it lightly across the top. Oh, and I meant to say, the colors I am using are Mango Melody as my light, Old Olive as my medium, and Pretty Peacock as my darker color. So any three colors you choose that coordinate are going to be fine. So I'm going to start on the side, off to the side a little bit, and then I'm going to just blend. Now, if you're using a sponge, then, it's the same process. I want to cover all of this. Oh, I love this, guys. I am so addicted. Oh, if I could buy the world one of these, I would buy one for everybody in the world. It just is so lovely. It doesn't grab. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm in love. Okay, so I'm giving just a light little coat. So if I were to lift it up and look at it, you can see it's very light. Okay, I've got enough there, but I'm looking going, I want a little more yellow there. So I'm just going to go back and add a little bit more where I want it. So it's okay to peek at what you've done. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I've done my light color. Now with my medium color, I'm not going to go over the whole thing. I want to just kind of blend in a little bit of color here and there, maybe around the outside edges. Again, I go from my pad to my paper, then to what I'm working on. This pad's a little bit drier. And it's just a light touch because we're not looking for getting blobs. We're just looking to just kind of blend in, smooth in. It's been helpful to re-ink my pad. That's okay. Okay. So it helps when you have this anchored just at one part to be able to flip it up and look at what you got going. Let's see. Ooh, I got dark there, but I'm okay with that. Kind of. I'll make it work. If I did that, let's see. Now that I said that I'm going to fussy and then I'm going to screw everything up because that's what we do, right? We overprocess a card and we screw it up. All right, so that was my medium color. I found that this cuts my sponging time almost in half. I don't know if it's because it's just a bigger surface. It blends smoother. But I'll tell you, ladies, So do you see when I came off, it was like really dark? So you got to be careful with your dark color. Now I'm just going to come in and I'm just going to add highlights around edges here and there that I might want to have my blue on. Always making sure that I go stamp off onto my paper first. It's funny, when your first one comes out, you go, oh, that's pretty. I want to try to replicate that. Oh boy, I'm making a mess, but that's okay. Sandy, I see you looking at this going, oh my, it is every bit that, Sandy. This is like, I could do this till the cows come home. You guys, I am so in love with these. Everybody must have one of these. I'm serious. Buy one for the world. If not anything, it's just a self calming thing, rubbing your face with this during COVID, right? Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. So do you see that? Oohs and ahs, oohs and ahs, right? So if I wasn't happy with that, I could always lay more down. Now, when I was just pulling this off, it tore right there. And I could be in a panic, but this is still COVID, so who cares, right? I'm not even wearing pants. No, I am. I'm just kidding. Put a little glue here. I'm going to just lay that little puppy down. Now, if it was like, oh, that is still too bad, you can't, I tore my paper because I didn't get the sticky off that. Well, it could be safer to do it on a panel, or you could just open your card up, cut down that just a little bit on the inside, and then layer that onto a card. So, if stickage like that is an issue, then yeah, that's another way to beat the system, so to speak. But here is the base of my card. So I have a lot going on here. Now I'm like, okay, just like I had here, I want to have my sentiments. So I have this whole bunch of sentiments just ready to go, and they're all on white, but who cares? I can make that any color I want with my blending brush or my sponge. So I know that I'm going to send this as an encouragement card. I mean, I could put just a card, just a card to say hello. This one is sending a smile your way. I haven't done anything on the inside, so it gives me a lot of room to write whatever sentiments I want to write. So now I just have to pick, hot diggity dog, what I'm going to put in there. And I had one pulled out, but I might just be strong. You've got this, sending a smile your way. So I might just do the same one. Why not, right? Oh, no, but just a card to say hello. And then I could put this on the inside. But no, I'm going to do it this way. But no, see, so many choices, right? Now, you notice that on this card, I even took one of the little hearts that you get. Yes, you get hearts and you get stars. So I'm going to dig out that little heart if I haven't lost him. There's the little heart. So I'm going to be doing this, that, and this. Now, you might go, well, where did you get this from? I did not cut anything out. I am just using leftover pieces. No stamping of sentiments because that's already been done. So I am going to just take, I think I'm going to take the happy anniversary one, and I am going to use that as a back for sending smiles your way. So that's what I'm going to do. So now I want this to be a color. I don't want it to be white with white. So what color am I going to do? Well, I kind of really like the blending of the yellow. So I'm going to go off and I'm just going to blend this yellow on it a little bit. Just sponge, turn that around. Okay, I just love this. I'm sorry, guys. I don't need to be saying that in your ear over and over, but it really is so nice, so fast. Okay, so I'm going to be doing that, but I'm like, no, I want a little bit more of another color in there. So I'm going to just get the blue, kind of pull a little blue in there, kind of get that tie-dyed look or whatever that is going. And for the sending smile your way, I just want that lightly. I don't want it stark white. I just want it just a little bit of my light color. So I added that on there. And you know what? I want it to stand out. So I'm going to add a little more blue. And I'm going to make that bluer than I have it. Okay. So that's going to be different than this one, but but that's okay. So I'm going to try it out and see if I like it up against that. Ooh, I think I do. But no, I don't. I'm going to add a little more blue. So with this card, really, it's whatever floats your boat. This is kind of ombre. That I like. Okay. So I am going to glue my little baby sentiment on top of the other one that I flipped over and I sponged to make it look like it's a little mount for it. And I didn't have to punch anything extra out. It was all done for me. And that's sweet. So I know I'm going to pop this up. So I need to go ahead and just put on my little Stampin' Dimensional. But I'm not going to peel the back off because I want to be able to move it around once I get all of my design elements in place. So I cut some of these, so that's why they look so microscopic, because I like to use every last bit of what I've got. And sometimes it argues with me. So let's just get one of these little guys, because Stampin' Up makes mini ones. So I'm going to just let that sit for there. So now I've got my little heart, and I don't want this black with white because the way I lined it up, it wasn't perfect, but it worked. So I'm just going to do that. Oh, look at that technique. Wouldn't that be fun? Just to take this guy and make little hearts all over the place. I could just make a card like this. Look at that. That's a lot of fun. Okay. So now I did that, and I'm going to pop that up on one of our little mini dimensionals because I wanted a heart. Everybody has to have a heart on a card to make them feel good. And now I have to decide what I want with this. So I am going to continue with my blue theme, and I'm going to kind of come on the outside edge of this. I'm not going to just do the whole thing. I want it just to kind of creep in a little bit and see what that looks like. Yeah, it looks okay, but everything's better with yellow. Just makes you happy. Notice I did not go back. I did not have to go back to my pad because there's enough in this bristle that made this be able to have that color on it. Oh, yeah. Sorry, guys. I was having a rough day until I started stamping, and now I'm a little bit more excited and happy because that's what stamping does. Makes you happy. Okay. So now I'm going to be playing with my elements that I've got and go, okay, where do I want things? And yes, those are my dogs, and that is annoying, and I apologize. They are our COVID rescue pups. This almost looks like graffiti, like, one of those graffiti billboard things, I think. But that's funky. Sometimes funky is good. Just going to put that there like that. I'm going to put, along with the dogs, our puppies are, can't talk and do this at the same time. I might just make this straight. Mix it up a little bit. Our puppies, we got our dog Toby. Okay, so now you're watching me fuss. And this is totally, I'm not real pleased with that, but I'm just going to leave it there. Our puppies, we got Toby, and then his sister was just going nuts, and she was in the kennel. They came from another state that doesn't do nice things to dogs, and we kind of rescued them off doggy death row. So they have been wonderful companions during COVID, and we feel very blessed to have them. But when it comes to people come into the door, we are their pack, and they are very protective of us. I don't like designing like this on camera. It's like, where do I want this? Someone just tell me where to put it. Just set it down, Jackie. Okay. So I know that's an odd even number, but okay. So this is the card that I just finished making. And, it's just enough going on in it, not too much, but just enough. I mean, you could really finish your card any way that you wanted to do it. It's the same, I use the same sentiments out of the thing, um, but you could use whatever. And I have the whole card on the inside that is blank, that I can do whatever. Now, if I wanted, because I was playing around, I'm going to just do this because I said, oh, that could be fun. So I'm going to take one of these little stars. I don't have any more hearts because I only had one little heart. But I'm going to take one of these flower stars. And I'm just going to try to maybe let's see what we can do. I'll do blue. Get in here, rub it off. Like that. Okay, come back here. Oh, look at that. Isn't that fun? I'll have to make 3 of them. And because this kind of has those fibers, it dances around. So I'm actually able, I'm going to go around like this, and I'll show you my card. I was actually able to get, like, it moved right there, but I was actually able to get this fun little inside texture just using that little star. And what I might do is go ahead, since I used that star and that one got goofed up, I'm going to just go ahead and then put it inside my card just to kind of carry a little bit of a theme over. Wow, that was a lot of glue. We have to wipe some of that off. There we go. Okay, it's just a little something. And what I could do while I'm waiting for you guys to finish your cards, I could just totally destroy my card. I'm just going to go down and around the edge because this blending tool is so nice. Creates that creamy look. There. Voila. So again, love, love, love this die set. So much more possibilities than you can even imagine. So it's the messages, many messages and messages die set. And if you didn't even want to stamp it, you could also just cut these out as backs for other little sayings that you might already have that might fit these. Just run it through colored cardstock. So with that, I'm going to stop recording, and then I can't wait to see your projects that you have to show me, those Stampin' with me.